Hi, good morning. This is Jennifer from Reimagine Studio. This is a container where perspective changes everything. There is always a dualistic side to nature. There is a polar opposite. So, whatever belief you are investing in or feel rooted in, there is always a belief that is contrary to that. Does it make it wrong? No, absolutely not. So, this is a space where we explore those things, and I can also help you if you are just banging your head up against a wall and you can't seem to lock in and get it together. I can show you precisely where you are investing in false beliefs and lies. So today I want to talk a little bit about my gifts again, my intuitive, empathic gifts that I have. I don't love using the word psychic. Psychic comes with these, like, people think of these gypsies with the scarves on their head and that they're like doing magic and that they're looking into a crystal ball. And like there are legitimate people out there doing that. It's called scrying. I actually have scryed and have received messages, but it's just I'm trying to normalize that these are gifts that oftentimes people don't set out searching for this. It just happens. And that's precisely what happened to me. It just happened. Like I had been a self-soothing alcohol consumer my entire life due to some trauma in my childhood, and I started to escape very early in my teens. So when I decided to give up alcohol once and for all, which was almost 9 years ago, August 1st of 2017 was the day I decided I don't need this in my life anymore. So yeah, coming up on 9 years soon. Walking away from alcohol was actually easier than I thought it would ever be. Like when I had made my mind up, like it was done. It was over. It had caused so much havoc in my life, so much pain. It destroyed, beautiful things. It cost me a lot of money. It was the healing that came after that really, has been the challenge. But I can honestly say it's been worth it. But as I, started to heal, I immediately saw that there was something else going on that I clearly couldn't explain. And I had always just had like this knowing about things. Like I knew things. I didn't know how I knew things. I just did. I just was wise. I just chalked it off as being street smart. Like I had this empathic, intuitive nature to myself where I just kind of, was navigating my way in the dark, but always came out on top, even though the situations weren't always the best. I always seemed to be in a relative safe space. Like I never became homeless. I never, had so much destruction that, I had to file for bankruptcy or lose things. But let me tell you, like the depths of hell that I experienced, it was just like one step away from things like that. But so when I stopped drinking, I quickly recognized once again some things happening. And I just wanted to share these with you and help you to understand how this unfolds for people so we can start to have conversations and start to understand people that have these abilities in a way that isn't so mystical, that isn't so, oh, like they're a freak. I do have, a little bit of trauma, religious trauma, due to having experienced this. I've had people literally turn their back on me because they feel like I'm working with some witchy, demonic, forces, and I'm not. I've always been in the light. I do not perform magic. I do not cast spells. My energy is a unique energy signal. People do not understand it. There is an actual energy reader that I'm very much tapped into her collective that precisely explains things to me that I don't even understand about myself. And so somehow this information always finds its way to me, whether it's through my own channeling, my own downloads, or external sources showing me. I am always shown by spirit. So if I'm looking for the answer to something, spirit will always reveal it to me. Always. It may not be in the time that I want it to be, but if I have a question about somebody, it will be revealed to me. If I have a question about my health, or just it's a fascinating phenomena. So is it manifestation? Possibly. Is it spirit showing me? Possibly. I don't really have like formal training to really understand how I know these things and how to turn it on and off. I think it's just always on, honestly. But okay, I could probably talk about this forever because it's just so fascinating to me. One of the first things I started to recognize was that my external environment was actually interacting with me. So very quickly after I had given up alcohol, I was experiencing a lot of anxiety. I was in a job that was very, very stressful. Like I was dealing with some family dynamics that were very painful. At that time, I was a full-blown Christian and I had Christian music on, and I was in my house and I was, just feeling really emotional about a situation that was going on in my life. And I was crying out to God, like literally crying out to God, the tears streaming down my face. And at one point, I just kind of like collapsed under it all. And I just cried out, God, what do you want me to do? And literally, right at the end of that sentence, the song came on. Not that the song came on, the song had already was playing as I had said it, but the song words came in, and it was Forgiveness by Matthew West. And like it shook me. Like I couldn't even believe it. Like I knew that was a message for me. I just knew it. Like how I know things is I just know. And I know with such conviction that nobody can tell me otherwise. I also will experience tingling in my body. I'll get the tingles when I know something is true. It's fascinating because the day I decided to quit drinking was the same day I threw my 5th step notebook down on my doctor's desk, who's a psychologist, and I said, I want to know the truth about myself, about who I am and who God says I am. So that is morphed into God, Spirit, Source. So when I say those things, they're all interchangeable. It's fascinating to me because literally that is what God has been doing. He has been showing me the truth. It was those words, I had no idea how impactful those words were going to be. So that was when I set out for this course of truth about myself, and it was seriously unfolding before my eyes. I couldn't ask for truth and then say, oh, well, that's not how I want to see it. I don't want to see it in, a song that tells me to forgive. Oh, no, no, that wouldn't be right. So when you're asking for things and things are showing up, but it's not in the nicely little wrapped up package that you thought it was going to be in, you're denying yourself your own blessings. So, two more quick little things that happened very early on in my non drinking career. I was getting ready to go to the store that day. I was going to go to Aldi, and I knew I was going to run into a coworker there. I knew exactly who it was going to be as well. And I just thought, oh no, like that just, I'm just imagining things. Sure enough, I get there and there was my coworker. And I don't know that I've ever even told her this. I should probably text her and tell her that. That Anyway, Melissa, if you hear this, I'm sure I don't know many Melissas, and I know she'll know that it's her. So, yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, okay. And then another really interesting thing that happened to me was I had bought a daily number raffle ticket from an acquaintance as a fundraiser for her kids' softball team or something random like that. So, of course, I Venmo'd her the money or whatever, and she sent this to me. And I have the piece of mail sitting on my kitchen island. And like, I'm not even like concentrating on it. Like, I just literally am looking at my pile of mail and I come to it, and the three numbers entered my mind. And I didn't ask for it. It just came in, and it made me hesitate for a second. And then I, immediately opened it. And the three numbers that were in my mind were the three numbers that were on the daily number raffle ticket inside. I was like, wait a minute here. Like, something's happening here. Like, okay. So, once again, the message here is what I had said earlier. If you are calling something into your life, whether it be love, relationship, a new job, a financial upgrade, whatever it is, it may not come exactly how you thought it would look. Okay, so always keep yourself open to opportunities before saying no. When we are presented with opportunities, we often just like shut the door because something may push us outside of ourselves a little bit. But honestly, stretching and growing and learning new things about yourself and the world around you is how you move into higher timelines, how you shift into different identities, trusting and believing that there is something outside of you that is interacting in our reality, spirit, source, God. You first have to have some sort of trust in that process to be able to cultivate this. So if you want to cultivate mediumship abilities, channeling abilities, you have to believe that it's possible. Okay? I mean, there is the possibility that you could be smacked right upside your head with a spiritual awakening, and your freaking crown chakra is going to be blown wide open, and you don't really get an opportunity to choose, because that does happen to people where they have just come to the lowest point in their life. It's like a spiritual crisis, and then it is just all of it shown to you in a way that can be deeply destabilizing. And I've had these experiences of ego death and spiritual awakening and things of that nature. If this stuff is fascinating to you, if you're just like, how do I get me some of that? Well, how you get yourself some of that is you start to understand that, like, you are just one little cell in the big picture. You are the microcosm in the macrocosm, just like a cell is within our whole entire body system. I am here to tell you that it is real, that it is true. There is symbology happening around you all the time. A quick little story about that is I will see certain things when I am feeling a certain way in my environment. It always shows up. I will expand on that some other time, but that can be through nature, animals, and our environment. But if you are not slowing down enough to see it, you will never catch it. You will never see the signs of our universe if you are not taking the time to see the signs. So, I love you and have a great day, everybody. Until next time.